Bryan, what time is it?
I don't know.
It's time for a bonus video.
Welcome to Crocs in the Kitchen.
I'm Jessica.
And I am Bryan. Yes, we have a special video for you today. And don't worry, our other video about what we ate in England is coming out at its regularly scheduled time. So don't worry about that one. It is still coming. But this is an extra bonus video just from us to you this week.
Yeah, we actually had the opportunity to do something really cool this week, which was go on the radio. We went on KMOX 1120 in St. Louis with Mark Reardon. And actually, we both used to work at KMOX at separate times in the past. And so I've known Mark for, I guess, about 12 years now. And so it was really fun to go on the air with him. And we decided to take the cameras along and give you a little bit of a behind-the-scenes look at how it was going. But we're going to show you a little bit of the interview, and there will be more if you want to check out the links below on the KMOX website. You can actually listen to the entire interview from start to finish.
But that's enough of us chatting. Let's get to the interview.
We have, I think, a very, very interesting segment coming up here. And are you recording right now? Do you have my permission to record? No, Bryan and Jessica Crocker coming in here. Their story is really fantastic, and they both used to work here at KMOX. They've lost hundreds and hundreds of pounds combined, and they have a YouTube channel that I guess I'm going to be featured on. So superstardom is awaiting me on YouTube. But their story is cool, and we're going to share it next on KMOX. How are you?
Good. How's it going?
It's going well. Jessica used to work here at KMOX for many years. Explain what your role was.
I think my title was web administrator. I'm not really sure what that meant, but I basically did everything to do with the website.
But this is back like when we were at the old building too. Were you ever in this building?
Yes, I was in this building for a few weeks and then I left.
Then there's B or Bryan, right? Here's the crock in the cooking with the Crocs or Crocs in the kitchen. How are you, Bryan?
I'm doing very well.
You used to work here at KMOX as well.
Yes, I was a producer here at KMOX for many years, mainly working on the night shift or early morning on the weekends and stuff. Never had the pleasure of doing your show, though.
Which is exactly why you still speak with me, Bryan.
Yeah,
That's
we're still
exactly
friends.
the only reason that we're friends is because you never had to work with me. Jessica's like shaking her
I
head.
can
Yes,
100%.
I know the horror that is Mark Reardon. Now, let's just get it out there. You guys were, and I was a chubby kid when I was in high school. I weighed at my maximum 208 pounds, all right? So I wear the husky sizes. But you two were a little bigger than that, right? Bryan, how much was your top weight?
The top weight that I know of was 514 pounds.
514 pounds.
Yeah.
Man, Jessica, how about you?
Mine was 285.
Bryan, what do you weigh right now?
I weigh in like the 340 something.
But I think
right now.
what you guys told me was you've lost the amount of weight combined that Jessica used to weigh, right?
Yes. So combined, we've lost almost 300 pounds to date. So I've lost about 125 and Bryan's lost about 175.
Yeah.
So we essentially erased my original weight and more.
So what was, and I want to talk about what you're doing on YouTube, but let's just talk about how that came about with losing weight. There comes a point, obviously, health related, whatever else may be going on. I mean, your weights are uncomfortable. I know that my wife has an aunt and she doesn't even like to fly because she's so large. So it affects your life in any way. What happened? Where was it? Was there a moment, Bryan?
Yeah. So I was kind of having this thought process, like if I don't do anything to change, then I'm probably not going to live to see 40.
How old are you right now?
I'm 37 now.
All right.
And so I was just trying to figure out like what I was going to do to kind of change some stuff around. And I came across a Kevin Smith interview on the Joe Rogan podcast where he talks about losing weight after his heart attack. And he talks about doing 2 weeks of plain baked potatoes, which is what Penn Jillette, the Vegas magician, did.
Oh, he did that too?
Yes. And he actually wrote a book on it called Presto, How I Made 100 Pounds Disappear. And
I do remember that, but I didn't know that he did it with the potatoes.
Yes. So he did 2 weeks of plain baked potatoes. And I came home and was just like, hey, this crazy thing I saw, maybe we should give it a go. And we did. And so we ate 2 weeks of plain baked potatoes, and it was the worst 2 weeks of my entire life.
No bacon, no chives, no sour
Nothing.
cream, no butter,
No
salt.
Nothing.
Oh, my.
Completely plain baked potatoes, which is funny because I still hear people comment, oh, I absolutely love potatoes. This would be like a dream for me. And be like, no, you don't.
No, not
you
that
don't
way.
love potatoes. You love the stuff that goes on
So,
potatoes.
Jessica, you did this as well then?
Yes.
For 2 weeks?
Yes.
How many meals a day?
I mean, yeah, we could eat as many as we wanted, but by the end, we just...
More potatoes that don't taste like anything, right?
Yep.
Yeah, we didn't want any by the end. I mean, they tasted like dirt.
What'd you
to be
drink
honest.
during that time?
Jessica drank water, and I still drank tea, but I didn't have any sugar with it. So
So no cheating over the 2 weeks?
No.
Okay. How much did you lose initially?
I lost 25 pounds.
And I lost 20.
So you knew it was going to work, or it was working.
Yeah, so the plan wasn't to... People associate us with the potatoes a lot, and they're like, oh, wow, you lost all this weight just eating potatoes. So actually, after the 2 weeks of potatoes, we switched to eating a whole food plant-based diet.
Yes.
Because that's what Penn Jillette did. So, and people ask us a lot, like, why'd you do this or why'd you do that? Literally, a lot of the answers are because that's what Penn Jillette did, and I was just trying... He lost 100 pounds, and I was trying to follow to a T what he did so that we could lose weight as well.
Yeah.
So then there comes the YouTube channel, and let's set that up. So at what point? I mean, obviously, 25 pounds, 20 pounds. People lose weight, they put it back on, it goes back and forth. But you guys decide to move this into a more permanent direction at that point, with Penn Jillette as the inspiration. So where do you come up with the idea of the YouTube channel?
Well, we actually recorded time during our 2 weeks of potatoes because we figured, hey, if this would be something funny to kind of document, maybe we post it on YouTube or something later on. But then we got into our whole food plant-based diet, and we kept losing weight, and we kept doing stuff, and we developed recipes for things. And then we were like, you know what, let's go ahead and start a YouTube channel just to see if anybody else out there can even relate to what we are doing or what we have done. Let's showcase a path that people can follow to possibly lose weight and get healthy as well.
And here's what it sounds like.
Hi, I'm Bryan.
And I'm Jessica. Welcome to Crocs in the Kitchen. We're a married couple who live in St. Louis, Missouri.
This show started because we were really, really fat, and we decided to lose weight again.
So we lost a bunch of weight before we got married 7 years ago, and we'd each lost over 100 pounds, just counting calories and doing, the normal working out and all that stuff. But then we got married, and we went on our honeymoon and sort of never came back.
Oh, look at you two lovebirds. It's so cute, and you develop a YouTube channel.
So that was just a piece of the interview that we did.
Wait.
What?
There's another part, though, that I really, really wanted to show. So sometimes when we edit these videos together, I have a little bit of, I don't know what you would call it, but Bryan's the editor, and I intervene with my little micromanaging.
She's like a producer who's just like, no, do this instead.
I really wanted to show, so near the end of the interview, Bryan got like really passionate, and I really liked it. And I wanted to show this clip of the answer to one of the questions, which was a really good question that Mark came up with. And so we're going to show you that clip, and then for the rest of it, you're going to have to go to the link below.
Let me go back to some origin stories here with the weight. So when I was a kid, I would come home from school here in St. Louis, and I'd eat sandwiches, and then I'd eat dinner, and I'd eat a bunch of stuff, and I'd gain weight. I mean, it wasn't too difficult to understand why I was getting fat or fatter. With you guys, does this go back to when you were kids? And at a certain point, don't you realize, I mean, Bryan, in particular with you were an enormous guy.
Yeah.
And to the point where it's uncomfortable, people are looking at you. You can't sit in regular chairs, all these things. So at a certain point, I guess maybe someone would say, well, why didn't you decide on this years ago?
Well, I mean, it's hard to change your mind. It's hard to get into a new pattern of things, especially when you're used to doing something a particular way. And it's kind of like... I've explained this to other people before. You have that thought before you have children that, like, if I have a kid, like, it's going to fundamentally change everything about my life. And you kind of have that thought when you're like, if I radically change my diet, I'm losing this old thing that I know, that is familiar, and I know what this food tastes like, and it's super good, and I don't know what this next thing is going to bring, but hopefully I can lose weight. But if it doesn't work, then I'm going to gain more weight. And you just psych yourself into not doing anything and just staying into the old pattern because you knew what it was. And so that's why when we did the 2 weeks of potatoes, it was like a sheer, just straightforward shock to the system of like, we are absolutely fundamentally changing everything that we are doing so that way we can achieve the goal that we want to achieve, which is weight loss.
Jessica and Bryan Crock, they both used to work here in our building at KMOX, and they've lost hundreds of pounds of weight, and they've been sharing their story, and they do so on a regular basis on their YouTube channel, which is Crocs in the Kitchen.
So there you go. It was just a lovely time that we had on the Mark Reardon Show. We do encourage you to click on the link below and listen to the entire interview. I believe there's actually more than just us on there, you know, if you want to check out anything else from Mark's show. But it was just so much fun going on there and going back to the old studio that I knew and I loved going to and getting to actually do a show on KMOX.
Yeah, I worked there for 5 or 6 years, and I don't know if I was ever on the radio. So it was kind of weird for me to be on the other side, because before I was always doing like the behind the scenes marketing website kind of stuff. So yeah.
But I think that that's all we need for this special video.
Yep, that's all we got.
We will see you next time on Crocs in the Kitchen, which will be tomorrow. Bye.